Hi friends, hope you are doing fine. Today I'll talk about the PhD reference letters, and as many of you know, if you are applying for a PhD program at an international university, you need to provide these guys with 3 reference letters, sometime even more. Now, though you have provided your transcripts which contain your CGPA and marks, you have provided them with scores in some standardized tests such as GRE and GMAT, the reference letters play a very important role in the admission process and especially in the scholarship granting process. So if you are somebody who is looking for financial aid, then the reference letter is going to play a very important role, because professors around the world do know the other professors around the world, and so if you are able to get good reference letters from them, from their colleagues essentially, then it's going to greatly strengthen your case. Now, why do they want to get these reference letters? The main problem is that the test scores, the CGPA, does not communicate the personality of the student to the selection committee. So there are many soft skills. There is the work culture you have, there is the communication skill, there is the fact about your punctuality, about how you deal with the authority figures. Do you prefer experiments or theory? Are you somebody who is amenable and affable person, who will do things if they are told? If you are told to do a certain experiment, to go to a certain conference, you should not have an argument with the professor. If the professor sets up meetings on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m., you should be somebody who shows up to this meeting, and you should not say that you are not a morning person. So these things do matter a lot, because most research labs are run very tightly. They are almost run like startups, and so you have to put in a lot of time and effort in these labs. So what the professors do is they read between the lines in the reference letters to figure out what is the double meaning or the subtle meaning that is being communicated to them, and in many cases, if they are somewhat confused, they may even call up the referee and ask him some questions, especially if this referee happens to be his friend or his colleague. This is very easy to do nowadays in FaceTime or WhatsApp or Skype or any of these mechanisms. So let's look at the different strategies you can have to get letters of reference, and I will start with the easiest one first, and then I will look at the ones which can further help you. Number one is, of course, you can get your letters from the MS professor. So these are the professors in your master's degree program. So number one could be the master thesis supervisor, because this person knows the most about your work. And I have mentioned before that if you are trying to apply for a PhD, try to do the master's thesis option or the MPhil option at the master's level, because that will give you some training in research. Now the next person could be somebody who was in the thesis committee, or who is one of the important professors who have taught a relevant course. So pick out the most important course in the curriculum which is going to impact your PhD, and then ask this professor for a reference if you have got a good grade with them. If not, then you ask some different professor at a nearby course to give you a letter. So this would be the second letter. The third could be the professor in some different department or somewhere else, or he could be the examiner of the master's thesis also, if you are somebody who knows him. And it could also be somebody from your BS college. So that's something which is also possible, especially if your BS college is different from your master's degree college, which is the case of most students. Now if you are somebody who is applying for the direct PhD, of course you have to get all your references from your bachelor's degree college, and again you can apply for the same type of mindset. You can go with the professor with whom you have done a research or capstone project in your final year, with the professors who have taught relevant courses and where you have got good grades. So that is going to help your case. Now the next thing is that you can look at internships, and if you can get any recos out of that. So if you are somebody who has done the internship at the master's level or even at the bachelor's level from a university, you can get a letter from this professor. So you may have heard of things such as the DAD RISE intern, the CERN intern, and there are many interns around the world where you can go and work during the summer vacations. And I would certainly suggest that during your bachelor's or master's degree, spend a summer in some university where research is dominant, and try to do some work there. Maybe write a paper, write a conference paper. Sometime you may be even able to get your name into a journal paper. That's going to enormously boost your chances and getting a letter from such a person is going to certainly help you get a scholarship in many cases. Now the next point could be that you could get internships from certain non-profits, and this is also possible in some cases. If you are somebody who is not able to get references easily, then maybe you work in some non-profit, especially if you are somebody working on social science or even in the engineering area or science area on some aspects which are important for people. Maybe you can work at a hospital, maybe you can do some work at some thing related to food processing or something related to healthcare. Then what you can do is that you can get a letter from this person. Now there are certain internships which are out there which are in non-profits, and you can certainly make a good case with these kind of internships. So these were some ideas for you. Certainly there is also the possibility of an internship in a company, and if you have work experience after your master's degree, that's also going to be a very valuable letter for you. So I knew a guy who worked in GE for several years after his master's degree, and in addition to his usual letters from the department, he was able to get a letter from his boss in GE, and this certainly helped his case in getting a scholarship in the US. So these are some ideas which will help you, and I hope you benefit from this video. I will see you in a video sometime soon. See you then.